Martina is a woman who has learned to deal with her inner demons and learn how to overcome the limitations of her own beliefs and maybe even the beliefs of upbringing and society and all those things we're bombarded with from an early age on and are not aware of. Joy Martina is a wife, a mother, and a coach.
When you ask me that, I remember a moment when I was a student. I was fully into student life. I had this great life. I was doing martial arts at my own school. And I decided that moment, I want to be a student of life forever. I want to just keep on studying, explore more. There's so much to know. I'm like so hungry to know, to learn. I give a lot of workshops. I go to a lot of workshops myself just to learn from others. But if I look at my life now in retrospect, what I see are 4 archetypes. I started when I was 6 years old with judo, and then I switched over to karate, to fighting, competition, and I learned how to be a true warrior, a warrior that has dealt with all his frustration, anger, and is a kind, loving warrior. So for me, the first archetype I would name myself is warrior.
And a student of life, eager learner of everything that's new, everything that expands the consciousness and connects her to a higher wisdom, a higher knowledge, a sense of peace and love. That's the aim. And yeah, everything in between. Joy Martina can be an absolute bitch and a saint. I've got it all in me.
The second thing I learned is to become, of course, a healer, to be a doctor, to heal others, and to really feel good about healing others and also myself. As a healer, I learned a lot about how we function, what kind of things makes us sick, our thoughts, our feelings, and so on and so on. The third one is a visionary, to really be able to connect to your higher self, to find the creation, the power in you. I love to write books. I love to create new things. So when I have the vision for something, it comes from a higher level. You can call it higher consciousness, divine energy, it doesn't matter. So I became a visionary. The last but not least archetype for me is being a teacher. Everything I've learned, to pass it on to others, to become a servant of others.
My passion and mission are one, so that really is very helpful, and that also gives me this fire and the motivation to keep going even in times and areas that maybe are kind of tricky, because my mission is to show every single person who crosses my path and wishes to share time with me or be coached by me, that they can be so much more than they think they can, that they are not stuck and not limited to the situation that they are in right now, but that they can grow exponentially, that they're able to blossom and thrive no matter how terrible even, or how sad, or how frustrating, or how upsetting their current situation might be. Everyone can exceed themselves and go further than they could ever even dream of.
My passion, one part is obviously teaching. I love to be on stage. I love to see people grow. But my true deep passion is actually creation. I love to take different ideas and make that into something new. You can call it innovation, call it creation. I love to write books. That's one of my greatest passions. I love to train my body, fitness, martial arts. That's another passion, a physical passion. And I love to meditate. That's another passion I have, to just be silent and allow the ideas to come. So yes, I have many passions in life, but teaching is one where I get the most energy. When I stand in front of a group, I see them transform. That gives me a lot of pleasure.
I love seeing people grow. I love seeing how people go from a maybe not so favorable state to a really blissful, happy state. I love seeing people move beyond their wildest dreams and really achieve their goals. I love seeing people fired up and eager and, going for it, whatever it is that they're going for. I truly believe that everyone can do this, and when people really go for what they dream of, go for their passion, their mission, you can just see them, yeah, be radiant and beautiful and happy and loving. And I believe that if every one of us has the chance to kind of tap into that potential that they or we have, you know, the world is just a really much better place.
Actually, my mission now is to create a safe haven for myself and my family where we feel safe, but also to create a kind of a movement where we teach people how to do that, how to make your home a safe place where you are independent, where you can really know that your home, where it's peaceful, how to make your home a peace state where you come home, everything is okay, where your friends like to be. So that's part of my mission, but I have a greater mission than myself, than my own safety. My mission truly in life is to change medicine, to change the way the doctors are working, to change the way people think about disease, and to help people create a new vision about health, because that's what's missing. The pharmaceutical companies now are really not the way to go. We need to find natural healings. We need to learn and teach children as well how to heal themselves. That's what I really am about.
I'm going for two things. One area I'm going for is helping those who believe they cannot be helped, helping those who think that they're kind of condemned to the state that they're in now. That's one area. And those people, you know, there are millions of them, and I want to reach millions of people and show those millions that it's in there for them too. I want to show children at the earliest age, or our educational system, that there's such simple ways of making your life more pleasant, more fulfilling. And that when we start at an early age, we learn the techniques and tools that can truly serve us our whole life. So that's the big mass that I want to reach.
Yeah, that's an interesting question, because I have really strong feelings about where the world is going. If we look at the climate right now, that's not a good picture. We're still governed by governments that want to, you know, make money, and are governed by corporations. So yeah, I see a new vision for our planet where we become greener, where we can have technologies that does not pollute our planet. That's what I really would like to help create, a green movement. But it has to become cheaper. Right now it's just for the elite. Only the elite can afford to have solar panels, wind energy, and things like that. In time that will happen. But also medicine has to change. Everything has changed. Economics, politics. We are in a very interesting time. And yes, I'm not in politics, or I don't want to say anything about politics, but I truly believe we all have to educate ourselves, and each person have to make an education and contribution, because it can start with something simple. The kind of soap you use, you know, is it biodegradable or not? We have to start at that level of thinking to change this world. We all have to make a contribution.
And the second group of people that I want to work with are those who have already achieved great successes in their lives. So you might call them celebrities, you'll call them the top achievers, but they're kind of feeling that there must be more. They feel they've achieved everything that on the outside seems desirable and fulfilling, but it's not. So they know that there's a kind of yearning inside of them. There's an emptiness they want to fill, and that sometimes we all try to fill from the outside. I want to work with them and show them how to connect to that more subtle and far more fulfilling sense of bliss and joy inside of them, so that they can then be true role models and again inspire other people. I want to help them overcome their addictions to whatever it is and find that, yeah, that true happiness.
If we make one change, and we would, let's say, cut down the army and all this weapon stuff, the nuclear race, all this kind of stuff, would be a huge change. If we make a second change, allow natural medicine to be prescribed by even by doctors. That would be another big change. Yeah, there's a lot of money being wasted now on things that are needed. Where the money need to go is to our education system. There's one political fly. There's enough resources in the world. It's not about scarcity. It is just the way the resources are divided that makes a problem. A big part of our resources go to the army. A big part of resources going to medicine and is wasted there. So if we all really realize that and we really would become part of a change, we can allocate these resources to education and, most important, to preventive medicine, to teach children how to heal themselves. Let's start in the schools and everything will change. We'll need less medicine and we will become healthy and vital even when we age and are 60 and older.
My biggest frustration? Oh, my biggest frustration must be myself. You know, those days when you kind of wake up and you feel sort of, blech, everything's sort of, yeah. Then I sometimes, I get frustrated with myself because I've done so much, I've learned so much, I've taught so much, but still I'll have days or moments where I feel stuck and upset myself. But the good news is that those times become shorter and shorter. So if I look back in my life, I used to, maybe have even weeks of feeling not so cool. And now it's, an hour, 2 hours maximum. And I know then that I just need to do something to shift it. And that's true power. And that's what I want to show other people how to do as well.
I have several frustrations that are in the top 3. One of my biggest frustration is I'm only 60 years old. I wish I was 100 years old already, because then I could show the world that what I'm doing really, really works. I started with this 35 years ago. I was still young. Now I'm 60. I still feel young. So I want to become 100 and then look back and tell people, you see, all I'm doing is still working. It really works. So that's a frustration. I'm not there yet, that I cannot prove to many people that at 80 and at 100 you can still be looking good, you can still feel good, you can do all the things you want. That's a big frustration. My second big frustration is that everything goes slow. I'm not a very patient person, so for me it's very hard to see the changes in the world going so slow. I'm in this, you can say, industry for 35 years and still the same mistakes are happening. The doctors are still ignorant of what we do. They still fight us while we're not their enemies. We're just helping people in another way that is not in contradiction to what they're doing. It's just more a natural way. So that's for me a big frustration.
I believe that the biggest lesson we can all do with some more training in is self-love. It's been written and spoken about so much, but that's where our true potential lies, when we can truly accept and love ourselves just the way we are, you know, with all our perfect imperfections, with all our uniqueness. If we're able to really see those parts of us and make them one and see ourselves as a whole unique being, our life becomes far more pleasant. And we're nicer to ourselves then, and that's always a good start.
My biggest success was first as a martial artist, to become a world champion, to have 3 world records, and to really stand there on top of the world, feeling invincible, feeling unbeatable. That was a great success at that time. As a medical doctor, my greatest success is when I can take someone that's given up by medicine, like say like a cancer patient that has 3 months to live, and then to turn that around and to see them become alive again, to become healthy again. That's really a big success for me, and I've done this many, many times, and every time again I am actually more happy than my patient because it could be part of a miracle, a magical healing. I believe the most important lesson is that there's nothing that's truly impossible. You know, many times people tell me something cannot be done, and I believe them. I believe them when they say, you know, you cannot really make a change. I believe those people, and that has kept me small for a long, long time until I decided I'm not going to listen to anyone anymore. I'm just going to follow my gut. I'm going to follow my intuition. Even if it seems impossible, I will find a way. And that has been also the big secret to my success, is to really not believe anyone, but find out for yourself. I'm not afraid of failure. I failed many times over, maybe more than most people. But I also learned from my failures. And because of that today, I feel truly grateful for all the blessings that I have in my life and for all that I've achieved in my life.
Together, we're even better than we are on our own. So we're pretty amazing on our own. But together, we're kind of, yeah, awesome, if you put it in one word. It's about the male and the female energy, the uniqueness of being a woman and a man, being a couple, knowing a lot about the challenges that can arise in a relationship, but also it's about combining the holistic medical approach and the, let's call it the maybe softer coaching approach. It's about combining all our strengths and talents and fusing them into one powerful way of helping people.
Yeah, I would like to add to that, put it in a metaphorical way, I see myself as the brains, not in a bad way, but like the analytical part where you need to make decisions, go in a certain pathway, and I see her more like the intuitive part, the heart, and the loving part. So I'm kind of, okay, create a structure, and she would be more in that structure, create a space or field of love where healing can really happen. And that's where we really work together, really wonderful. So I can use my medical brain, see what needs to be done, and she just taps into the intuition, feels what needed on an energetic level, and can change the energy that needed to be changed. And then I can add whatever, some herbs, some this, some that. And when we work together, it's really, really great blessings. I also love when we do healings together. People really feel huge shift happening when these two powers are combined.
Yeah, it's the yin and the yang, the medical part and the coaching, the brain and the heart, as Roy likes to call it. But it's so much more, because it's also because we live real lives. So we're parents, we're entrepreneurs, we're friends, we are parts of family. So I believe that's also what makes us very authentic and practical in the best way, that we offer practical spirituality, we offer techniques that are usable in real everyday life.
We do it all ourselves. We've been through it all ourselves. So it's like we have the experience, and when we pass it on, it's not theory. It's not like we learned it from someone else. Most of the things we do, we just combine our own ideas, techniques, and of course we learned a lot from others as well.
Oh my goodness, we learn from each other every single day.
Yes.
We learn, yeah. I believe in a relationship you mirror each other's strengths and weaknesses. So we learn from our own experiences, we learn from our very unique and different ways of approaching matters, and then again we also learn a lot about our similarities. So there are a lot of things that we have in common, which makes our personal life very harmonious, but we also have things and ideas that are different from each other, and it's about combining the differences and seeing that that's real strength.
Yeah, for me, I think what's really important is that living with a coach, someone that sees everything, who is also connected to intuition. I cannot hide anything. I'm an open book. She may even see things before I see them. So she has become a wonderful mirror for me to look into. And even when I don't want to admit it, she's mostly right most of the time. And that's really a humbling...
Here.
And that's a very humbling experience, because I know she's authentic. She has my best interest at heart. So when advice comes from her, even if I resist, later on I'll be able to apologize and to see her truth and look into the mirror. So for me, it's been a wonderful journey being in this relationship, because we can mirror towards each other, and in that way we keep growing.
Even if I'm a master at hiding what's going on, or feel that I'm really good at pretending everything's fine when it's not, I figure out I'm not really. And Roy's the first one to discover if something's going on that I'm not seeing. So it's about really being that mirror and showing each other our blind spots. Can be uncomfortable, is always helpful. We're just so passionate about what we do that we are learning to also take breaks and, you know, have the pure enjoyment as well, like doing things that, yeah, we sometimes feel are mundane, like going to the movies or doing things like that. But we're getting there, and just don't forget, you see, what we do, we don't see as a job. It's not something we have to, I don't know, make ourselves do. It's just we love what we do. So it's fun.
For us, the great thing is that we both are working in the same field. We have both similar interests. We love to go to yoga together. We love to exercise together. We love to, you know, with the family sitting having dinner together, or silly conversations and our jokes and that kind of stuff. So for us, it's really not work. I mean,
no, we have a lot of fun.
Absolutely, yes.
Oh, that is the most crazy story ever. And we keep promising each other we're going to write a book about how we met and how that was synchronicity at its best. And because, you know, you couldn't make that up. If you just take the names Joy and Roy and know that we met in Oi, which is a city in Germany, I mean, that alone, who would think of that?
Absolutely crazy.
But it goes further. We found so many parallels and similarities in our own life stories, but also in the passion we share, in our interests. We feel really, really blessed. So I don't know, the romantic story, do you want to tell that, or we're going to keep that for a book? I'm not sure.
No, I just want to share one thing, is just that I just remember this, that she raised her hand and she asked a question, and I never heard the question. I was just hypnotized from that moment on, and I knew something was happening. It was one of those things that you may only see in movies or stuff like that, but for us it was real. I had this moment where time just stood still. Whatever was going on, I had no idea what was going on. And in that moment, I knew it. I still resisted, of course. I didn't give in too easily, but that was the defining moment. And since then, everything has just been going upward, and I'm very blessed that we met in this way.
Yeah, it was a moment that truly changed everything I believed in, everything I had sort of neatly planned for myself and my future. It turned the whole world upside down, and yeah, it couldn't have been any better. 20 years from now.
That's a long time.
Well, 20 years from now, we're still going to be having as much fun as we do now. Of that I am certain, because there is not a boring moment. We're going to be in perfect health.
Absolutely.
Because we're very serious and passionate about that. And yeah, we will have reached millions of people. That's our goal. We want to help as many people as we possibly can and show them how to deal with their emotions, how to claim their power back in its greatest sense.
Actually, there will not be a huge change in how we live and what we do. That's going to be practically the same. The amount of fun we have could even be more at that time, because by that time we have added so much wisdom. We have become so much like a team together. Even we are now super team now. By then we have grown in many more ways. So what I see as a picture in the future, also similar like what you say, is reaching out to people. I truly believe we can teach people so much, even if it's from raising children, or it is about schools, what is the best education in schools, or it is about natural healing processes, how to gracefully age. There's so much we have to give to the world that I truly believe that there is a huge audience for what we have to give. We have written many books by then. We have given many workshops. We've traveled all over the world and helped thousands, if not millions of people to have a better quality of life. That's what will happen within now and 20 years from now.
So maybe it's, if we give it a visual, it's that the spark that's there now has turned into this gigantic flame and ripple of healing all over the world. That's what we're going for.
Absolutely.
Love, that famous 4-letter word. I believe true love is wishing upon the other more and better and greater things than for yourself. And that's what I can definitely say I feel for Roy, is that hardly anything makes me happier than seeing Roy happy and, you know, strong and powerful. That gives me a true sense of joy, and that's where I feel, that's what love's about.
For me, love, I've never experienced this love before. So for me, this is the first time where I would have no second thoughts to give up my life for Joy. If something would happen, I don't have to think about it. For me, she's so precious that I would gladly sacrifice myself. Also for my daughter, for Grace, I would do exactly the same. I never had this strong feeling before. And for me, it's just knowing she's okay, knowing that she's going to be fine with me or without me, that whatever happens, that she's going to be the best, grandest vision of what she can have about herself, and to be part of that path towards what I would see like her growth, and to be with her, experience that together. That's for me is true love. And that's a big thing to say, but also the little things, the time together. I mean, for me, she's my best friend. I can trust her with anything. I have no secrets for her. So for me, that's also part of love, is just to know whatever happens, she's always got my back. That even if I fall deep, I can come home, tell her what happened. Like, I lost a lot of money one time. You know, I know when I tell her the truth that she'll find a way to deal with it. She doesn't have to be happy in that moment, but she'll forgive me, and we'll be really good together again. That for me was a really defining moment, to have experienced that with her.
Wow.
You even impressed me.
Wow.
Wow, it was
Huge.